Welcome to Realtor Gary Kelly's podcast on all things real estate.
Hi, welcome back to Lala Java. We're here with Dean Mahalick of Warren Home Inspections, and we're talking about the home inspection process. And today, I want to talk about, have there ever been occasions where you've said, you've driven up to the house and you've said, not worth my time?
Never, of course not. I could never make that evaluation just by looking at a house from the outside.
Never?
Never.
There are houses we've looked at. This is a tear down, whatever. So when you get into the house and you're going through and you've got your checklist, conversely, do you ever get to a point where you say, we really want to keep going?
That's happened to me 2 or 3 times since I've been a home inspector. You get to a point where you just usually...
The preponderance of evidence?
Yeah. Usually in older homes where you're uncovering old structural damage, maybe insect damage, and kind of getting a sense from, with the buyer, and maybe a first-time buyer, and they're probably looking at the wrong house. Yes, looking at the wrong house, or this is probably more than they need to bite off. So I have had a couple of occasions where I've kind of intervened a little bit and kind of given them a quick update on what ultimately would be not a really good-looking home inspection report, and ask if they would like to continue. Even in those cases where people have opted to not go on, I'll usually finish and give them their completed report just so they have a documentation of the day.
It happened once to me, and it wasn't with you or Warren Home Inspections, it was someone else. And we got to the point where it was just one thing after another, it was compounding. And I talked to the inspector, and the inspector says, we got to stop this. It's just not a good use of time at this point for anybody. Mm-hmm. And so I talked to the buyer, and he was offended. And long story short, the buyer was interested that it was a large house, but I would tell you that it was a very large house that had been pieced together over many, many years. So it was the house of Jack built. And I said to him, what excites you about this house is that it's large. It's not that it's sensible, well laid out, well designed, or functionally well. And so we stopped the inspection. We actually went and looked at another house that day, and he bought that house. But it was awkward because he liked the house that Jack built. So it's hard sometimes.
In those situations, again, they're rare. I rely on people like yourselves, the real estate professionals, to sort of be the go-between in that, because it's not my place to know what somebody's looking for, what they're looking to invest, what their threshold for repair is. I can just best update them as possible as things start to get, in my opinion, maybe a little bit messy.
So as we go through and you do inspections, you find yourself at times being confronted either by the parents, some occasions I suspect the agent. Some agents think they're home inspectors. I've seen that. Give me some of the scenarios where that, I'm going to say distracts you from trying to get your job done, where you've had to interact with people and say, listen, I'm the inspector, I got to get this done. Because I find parents to be a challenge many times.
Parents can be challenged, but it's understandable. They want the best for their children and the investment they're making. I understand that. Sometimes we get large families, a lot of people running around. Sometimes we get the designated expert that comes along, which I'm always happy to hear somebody else's opinion that is qualified to give one. It doesn't have any bearing on the way I inspect the house or look at things. And if people come to me with, hey, did you see this? Did you see that kind of stuff? I just basically let them know that I'm not at that section yet. I have a very specific process that I go through. I'll get there, and if there's any questions when I get there, I'd be happy to look at any concerns they have or answer any questions.
Well, Dean, I'd like to thank you for coming out today to Lala Java and spending some time talking to us about home inspection.
My pleasure.